Have you ever met a woman who, on the surface, seemed charming, sweet, maybe even perfect, but deep down, something just felt off? You couldn't explain it at first. Maybe it was the way she twisted your words, or how she always made herself the victim, or how she drained you without you even noticing. This, my friend, is not random. You just crossed paths with one of the most toxic types of women. And here's the thing. You won't believe how common they are. Most men don't spot them until it's too late. By the time they realize, they're already trapped in a cycle of stress, guilt, and emotional chaos. So in this video, we're going to expose them. I'll walk you through the most toxic women you'll ever meet, how to recognize them, and why you need to keep your distance. This isn't about hate. It's about truth. Because if you don't see the signs, you risk losing your peace, your confidence, and in some cases, even your future. Let's start with the first one, the manipulator. This is the woman who plays with your emotions like it's a game. She'll say something hurtful, then pretend she was joking. She'll guilt trip you into doing things for her, and when you finally stand up for yourself, she'll flip it around and make you feel like the bad guy. Her favorite tools are confusion and guilt. She thrives on keeping you off balance. And the more you try to explain yourself, the more she wins. The key to spotting her is this. Do you constantly feel like you're walking on eggshells? Do you feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough? That's the manipulator at work. Next, we have the narcissist. This type of toxic woman believes the whole world revolves around her. She doesn't just want attention, she needs it to survive. She'll use you as a mirror, only keeping you around as long as you reflect her greatness back to her. If you dare to disagree, criticize, or even set a boundary, she'll either explode in anger or ice you out completely. With her, it's not about love. It's about control. She doesn't see you as a partner. She sees you as a tool. And the scariest part? She can make you doubt your own reality. Narcissists are masters of gaslighting. They'll make you question your memory, your feelings, even your sanity, until you start believing you're the problem. That's how she keeps power. The third toxic type is the drama queen. This one feeds on chaos. If nothing is wrong, she'll find something. If life is calm, she'll stir the pot. Why? Because she thrives on attention and emotional highs. She loves the roller coaster, the fights, the makeups, the tears, the shouting. And if you're with her, you'll never know peace. Your life becomes her stage. You'll find yourself constantly drained because you're living in a storm that never ends. The drama queen will always find a way to create problems out of nothing. And if you try to calm her down, she'll say you don't care. If you fight back, she'll escalate. Either way, you lose. Now let's talk about the entitled princess. This type of toxic woman believes the world owes her everything just because she exists. She doesn't see relationships as a partnership. She sees them as a one-way street where you provide, you sacrifice, you serve while she does the bare minimum. She expects you to pay, to protect, to please, but she rarely gives back. If you question it, she'll accuse you of being cheap, weak, or unmanly. And here's the trap. At first, she might disguise it as standards. But standards are about self-respect. Entitlement is about exploitation. And the entitled princess will keep taking until there's nothing left of you. The fifth toxic type is the victim. This is the woman who always has a sad story. Nothing is ever her fault. Every ex was abusive. Every friend betrayed her. Every job treated her unfairly. At first, you feel sorry for her. You want to protect her. But over time, you realize she never takes responsibility. She uses her victimhood as a weapon. If she hurts you, she'll flip the script and remind you of how much pain she's been through. If you confront her, she'll say, "You don't understand what I've suffered." The truth is, the victim doesn't want healing. She wants sympathy. And sympathy keeps you trapped, giving and giving while she takes and takes. And then there's the controller. This toxic woman doesn't want a partner. She wants a puppet. She'll tell you how to dress, who you can talk to, where you can go, even how to think. At first, it might seem like she just cares. But over time, you realize she's stripping away your freedom piece by piece. The controller uses fear and shame to keep you in line. If you resist, she'll threaten to leave, or worse, paint you as untrustworthy. And the more you give in, the smaller you become. Many men wake up years later realizing they're living someone else's life, not their own. That's the controller's goal, power disguised as love. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds extreme. Are women really like this? The answer is yes. Not all, but these toxic types exist everywhere. And the danger isn't just in their actions. It's in how blind men can be when they're infatuated. A pretty face, a sweet smile, a few good moments, that's enough for many men to ignore the red flags. But red flags ignored always turn into regrets. Here's the truth. The most toxic women don't show their true colors right away. They start small. A little manipulation here, a little drama there, and before you know it, you're deep in a web that's hard to escape. That's why awareness is so powerful. When you can name the type, you can protect yourself. When you can spot the signs early, you can walk away before you're trapped. And let me be clear. This isn't about hating women. This is about protecting men from relationships that destroy their peace, their confidence, and sometimes their entire lives. Because no amount of beauty, charm, or chemistry is worth your sanity. A toxic woman might look tempting in the beginning, but over time, she will drain everything you have. So let's recap part 1. We exposed the manipulator, the narcissist, the drama queen, the entitled princess, the victim, and the controller. These are some of the most toxic types you'll ever encounter. They may look different on the outside, but they all have one thing in common. They feed on your energy while giving little or nothing back. In part 2, we're going even deeper. I'll show you the psychological tricks these toxic women use to keep men hooked, why so many men fall for them, and most importantly, how to break free if you're already caught in their trap. You won't want to miss this, because once you see the full picture, you'll never look at toxic women the same way again. Now that you know the most toxic types of women, the manipulator, the narcissist, the drama queen, the entitled princess, the victim, and the controller, it's time to look at how they actually pull men into their trap. Because here's the thing. Toxic women are rarely obvious at the start. They don't show you the full monster all at once. They use patterns, psychological tricks, and emotional hooks that keep you around long enough for the damage to sink in. And if you don't see it clearly, you'll keep thinking it's just a rough patch or normal relationship issues. But it's not. It's a strategy, whether conscious or not, that keeps you stuck. The first trick is love bombing. This is when, at the very beginning, she showers you with attention, compliments, affection, maybe even promises of a future. She makes you feel like you finally found the one. You're on a high thinking, how did I get so lucky? But here's the dark side. Love bombing is never consistent. After she hooks you with intensity, she pulls back. Suddenly she's colder, more distant. You panic. You think, what did I do wrong? And right there, you're trapped. Because now you're chasing that original high. She knows all she has to do is give you little doses of affection here and there, and you'll stay hooked, always waiting for the full version of her to return. The second trick is gaslighting. Toxic women are masters at making you doubt yourself. You bring up something she said, and she swears she never said it. You tell her how her actions made you feel, and she laughs and says, you're too sensitive. You catch her in a lie, and somehow she twists it until you're apologizing. Gaslighting isn't just lying, it's psychological warfare. Over time, you stop trusting your own memory and emotions. You rely on her version of reality. And when that happens, she has total control. Third is guilt tripping. The toxic woman knows that most men want to be good partners. They want to provide, to care, to protect. She uses that against you. If you say no to something unreasonable, she'll call you selfish. If you set a boundary, she'll say you don't really love her. If you prioritize your goals, she'll accuse you of neglect. Every time you try to stand up for yourself, she twists it into a moral failure on your part. And the more you give in, the more she takes. Another trick is isolation. Toxic women often try to separate you from your support system. Maybe she complains about your friends. Maybe she starts fights when you visit family. Maybe she needs you so much that you stop having time for anyone else. Before you know it, your circle is shrunk. And that's dangerous. Because once she's the only voice in your life, her influence becomes absolute. She can tell you anything. And there's no one left to give you perspective. Then we have inconsistency. One day she's loving. The next day she's cold. One week she's your biggest fan. The next she's tearing you down. This up and down roller coaster isn't random. It's addictive. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement. When rewards come at random times, the brain gets hooked. It's the same principle slot machines use. You never know when the next win is coming, so you keep playing. Toxic women use this without even realizing it. Their inconsistency keeps you invested, always hoping that tomorrow she'll be the sweet version again. The sixth trick is projection. This is when she accuses you of the very things she's guilty of. If she's lying, she'll say you're dishonest. If she's flirting with someone else, she'll accuse you of cheating. If she's being selfish, she'll call you self-centered. The goal is simple: deflect attention from her behavior by keeping you defensive. And it works, because most men spend more time trying to prove their innocence than seeing the truth. And finally, there's the threat of withdrawal. Toxic women know that men fear losing intimacy, affection, or connection, so they weaponize it. They'll withhold love, affection, or even basic kindness until you bend. Some go further, threatening to leave, to expose your secrets, or to make your life miserable if you don't comply. It's control through fear, plain and simple. Now, why do men fall for these tricks? Because toxic women don't show them all at once. They drip feed them. A little love bombing here, a little gaslighting there. By the time the full pattern emerges, you're already emotionally invested. You've already sunk time, energy, maybe even money into the relationship. And the hardest thing for a man to admit is that he's been played. So instead of walking away, he stays, hoping it will get better. So what's the escape plan? First, awareness. You have to call it what it is. Stop excusing her behavior as just stress or a bad day. Patterns don't lie. If you see multiple toxic behaviors consistently, don't ignore them. Second, boundaries. A toxic woman thrives on breaking your limits. The moment you set clear boundaries and stick to them, you'll see her true colors. If she respects them, maybe she just needed clarity. But if she explodes, mocks you, or ignores them, you have your answer. She's toxic. Third, rebuild your support system. If she's isolated you, reconnect with friends and family. Get outside opinions. Sometimes just hearing, "This isn't normal," from someone you trust is enough to wake you up. Fourth, focus on your purpose. Toxic women lose power over men who are deeply invested in their own goals. The busier you are building your life, the less energy you have to feed her games. And if she can't control your time and attention, she'll either change or leave. Either way, you win. Finally, have the courage to walk away. This is the hardest step, but also the most important. Toxic women rarely change. And even if they do, it's not your job to fix them. Your job is to protect your peace, your purpose, and your future. Walking away doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong enough to choose yourself. Here's the truth most men don't want to face. Toxic women don't destroy strong men. They destroy men who ignore the signs. If you see the patterns and stay anyway, you're choosing the chaos. But if you see the patterns and leave, you reclaim your power. And once you reclaim it, no toxic woman can ever hold you again. So let's recap. Toxic women use tricks like love bombing, gaslighting, guilt tripping, isolation, inconsistency, projection, and withdrawal to keep men trapped. Men fall for it because they mistake the highs for love and the lows for normal struggles. But once you see the game, you can step out of it, you can protect yourself, and you can build a life where only the right women, healthy, supportive, genuine women, have access to you. At the end of the day, remember this: a toxic woman only wins if you play her game. Once you stop playing, once you see clearly, once you walk away, her power is gone. And that's when you become untouchable.